Hello, and welcome back to the channel. We're Those Nerdy Eyes. I'm Bones, and with me, of course, is I've kissed.
You want to kiss me, Muzz? You want to kiss me, son? Yeah.
So that's where this video is going.
But yes, we are back with our Game of the Year of 2022 video. We are a bit late. We are aware of that, but we are here.
You can't rush perfection.
Yeah, kind of.
Certainly, this is not perfection.
Right, we're just going to do top 5 games, starting from number 5, 4, 3, 2, and then the Game of the Year for one of us.
Yeah, there will be probably one or two similarities, maybe potentially.
Maybe until Bones scores number 1, Call of Duty. Oh God!
It's not number one, but it's on.
I don't know.
Right, number 5.
In a world. Right, okay, you go first.
Me? Oh, right, okay.
Just reset Call of Duty.
No, because it's actually higher. Is the Callisto Protocol?
I didn't play that game.
No, I didn't think it would, because you don't
Explain
really like
to me
scary
why
games.
it's number 5
Because it's
whilst looking at the camera.
right. Okay. Number 5. Right. I liked it. I thought it was good. It's not any higher than number 5 because obviously I feel like the other games are better. But I enjoyed it. I know it got mixed reviews and there was a lot of performance issues on because it released obviously on the older consoles as well, PS4
No, it
and
didn't.
Xbox One. It did.
Did it?
Yeah. Yeah, they released it for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Oh,
Yeah.
I generally
And
thought it
it-
was next gen only.
No, I thought it was because the way they showed it off and like obviously trailers and like gameplay, it looked like it was going to be top notch graphics and stuff
Wait,
like
wait,
that.
wait. You're telling me that game can run on a 2013 Xbox One?
Yeah, the game was released for PS4, PS5, Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X.
What?
Yeah.
That
Did
thing
you not see something like
The original Xbox is like a microwave.
Yeah, I know. That's why that's why all the controversy came from, pretty much, because like the way it ran on those consoles was.
Huh. I
absolutely shocking.
generally thought it was we keep saying next gen. No, this gen consoles.
Yeah, no, I feel like I say that as well all the time. But yeah, anyway, what's the protocol? It is, in a way, sort of like a spiritual successor to Dead Space.
What's it about?
You're in space, and there's monsters and stuff. No, so you go to a prison, you get arrested at the start of the game, and you get sent to this like space prison. Ominous, yes. And then within the first hour, sort of thing, there's an outbreak within the prison system, some sort of like unknown virus, and like all the prison mates and everyone just goes insane, turns into monsters.
Oh, okay.
So it is, yeah, it's like basically just Dead Space.
Spiritual sequel.
Well, yeah, I mean it's by Striking Distance Studios, and it's directed by Glenn Schofield, who was obviously the lead at Visceral Games.
He's quite active on Twitter as well.
Yeah, and he was pretty much like the lead director of
Lead singer.
the lead
He's
singer of Dead Space.
A man of really talents.
Yeah, so there's a lot of similar elements to it, in terms of just like it's survival horror. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Environment, quite heavy in terms of like horror aspects as well. In terms of just like audio wise and stuff like that. It plays a big part of creating an atmosphere and stuff like that.
So you would recommend it?
I would recommend it, yes, and probably get it quite cheap right now. It's still a good game. It's not anywhere near the levels of the Dead Space games, I would say. Well, better than 3 because 3 wasn't very good. But in terms of comparing to Dead Space 1 or Dead Space 2, yeah, it's not quite there, but I still actually really enjoyed it. There's a lot of mechanics in it that I didn't.
A very pretty game.
You know what? I actually didn't have any problems with it on Xbox Series X. I thought it ran quite well.
What do you think of the combat?
Frame rates not were good. That's what I was going to get to. See the mechanic they have for dodging? It is you have to use the left analog stick and go for either like certain side or like side. It's pretty much all about timing. Like you have to read their movements and stuff like that. Initially, when they first showed you how to do it, I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you kind of get into it a bit more once you start reading more like the enemies' sort of like rhythm and like the way they strike and all that stuff and like their patterns. But I still feel like they could have done more because when you get bombarded by more than 3 enemies in close quarters area and you're just trying to your only mechanic to dodge essentially is going left to right and just like swiping.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You just get obliterated every time. They could have done something. They could have done with something a lot better than that. I feel. And then in terms of like sort of like weapons and like even like melee combat, because you do have a melee weapon that you have with you. It doesn't feel like it does too much. It's almost like a stun baton. Like that's essentially what your melee weapon is. But it picks up more once you actually get weapons in the game, and then you upgrade them similar to the way Dead Space did, when you're almost at like a buy station, and you upgrade your equipment there. I feel like it does quite well in story wise.
Is there a lot of boss fights?
That's another thing it doesn't do too great in. There's not a lot of boss fights.
Okay.
There's a boss fight, and it's just the same enemy twice, but later on.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, the very last boss fight, probably more, obviously it's more challenging because it's a bigger boss. Like it's a massive absolute brute. And spoilers, it is played by is it Sam Whitaker? You know, he does the voice of he's done the voice of like Darth Maul in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and yeah,
Boss, did you say?
Yeah, he's the villain in this.
I didn't know that at all.
So yeah, and then essentially in the end, he becomes infected with it himself, and he turns into like this absolute massive brute.
So we're doing
of a
spoilers.
beast. Yes, just you're not really missing much for this game. It's not like you're not really gonna be like, oh my god.
I'll probably try to
keep
keep it spoiler free on my end.
Yeah, but no, I'd say it's number 5. It does game mechanics. They're okay. They're not amazing.
So your 5th most favorite game of last year?
In terms of what I could think of, yes.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But yeah, we'll go with that.
Mine might be controversial, number 5.
We love a bit of
Mine
controversy.
is Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay.
Developed by Guerrilla Games. And it released in February at some time. February was a crazy month with Dying Light and Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it did get kind of buried. Again, like it did last time. When did the first one come out? 2017?
Was it the tail end of 2016?
It came out the same year as Zelda, I think. And I think Zelda destroyed it. At the Game Awards and stuff like that.
Oh,
so I feel like this studio just has a bad run of luck when it comes to this. But yeah, so this game kicks off basically straight after the first game, where you destroy Hades. Spoilers if you haven't played the first game. But I'm just going to say, you start from there, and then things start to pick up, and then you go to this new, sort of like the Forbidden West, it's called.
Yeah.
And it's got like, you can go to Vegas, and you can go to like snowy mountains and deserts and jungles, and the graphics in this game are fucking incredible.
Oh, they're stunning, yeah.
And I know as well that I think this game is probably one of the best at is facial animations when speaking to characters, inside characters. It just looks better. Like the graphics are just insane, and it runs beautifully. I played it on a PlayStation 5, so I can't really speak for PlayStation 4, but I don't think I heard anything in regards to PlayStation 4 performance issues. I got 0 bugs in a massive RPG game. So yes, I'm getting a lot of positives, but things like the writing's really good and everything, but I just don't like Aloy as a character. No, I don't like her, I'll say back. I just find her quite boring.
No, I would agree with that.
Boring. She's just neutral good.
It's plain vanilla.
Or maybe like lawful good more than anything.
Yeah, it's just like, it's your typical sort of like plain hero that doesn't do anything out of...
Against the book.
Yeah, against the book, It does everything by the book, It's like...
And she's typical, like...
You don't expect anything.
She's typical when the first game starts, she's like a rebel in her like clan and all that, and then she goes off and then blah, 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 blah. But like, my issue is just, I don't really like her as a character, but it's a shame because the story in Horizon is amazing. The world is amazing. Like everything about that world and the world building and the side characters in this game are so well written. It's just her. She's the main character, so which is always a tough one. But the story is incredible in this game, so I do highly recommend it. But so yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. To add to what you said, yes, Horizon is like absolutely phenomenal. It's stunning.
The enemies, the different enemy variants.
Yeah.
Different like bosses, like it's just they're such a good studio, Guerrilla Games, and they need more credit for what they've done in this game.
Oh no, 100%.
And they got a DLC coming out, and it's only PS5. I do think I feel like every game should just be like this gen consoles now. They need to just forget about the old ones because I'm sick and tired of like.
It's been long enough.
They can't use the console to its full potential. Really,
no. It's holding a lot of studios back when developing games.
I keep sniffing because my nose is blocked.
Oh, right, okay.
Number 4.
you want to go or do you want me?
You go.
All right, okay. Well, you're going to make fun of me, but yes, I'm going to put Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Just because, one, right? Yes, it's in the same sense of the 2019 Modern Warfare, where it's a soft reboot of previous Call of Duty. And this one does, the same sense of it being a very solid, good, soft reboot. Another one with a great single-player campaign, I feel.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like both of these ones, the 2019 and obviously this 2022 Modern Warfare 1 and 2, have had really solid and good campaigns. I feel like the last few Call of Duties before that kind of lacked it a little bit, and I feel like Call of Duty's always been known for having, I wouldn't say an amazing campaign, right? But like something pretty decent anyway. Like sort of like your A, not even A, but like almost like a B sort of like action movie.
Yeah.
That is like almost a guilty pleasure, but at the same time it is pretty well.
I really like the
written and stuff like that.
Yeah, game, actually.
And then obviously it just like the mechanics in that of the game are relatively the same. They've just polished them a little bit. It's been mainly campaign wise, multiplayer wise. That's where a lot of issues still lie.
Bags
galore.
Oh my god, so many bags. That's why it's my most played game in Xbox, by the way, last year.
Yeah, I know.
It's not my top 5 list.
It's a love-hate relationship. Like I do love it, but at the same time, obviously, you hate it because there's so many issues.
Typical AAA game.
Yeah, I know.
Bags. Shocking UI. No combat record. It is just shit. They've like done it like a shit version of Netflix. The way it looks, terrible.
Yeah, the AI is. The initial launch of it was like, I don't understand what they're trying to deal with this, and then not launching with base things which you would get in like a game from bloody 2008 in terms of combat record and stuff like that seems like I don't know, very
Warzone
stupid decision. I'd say Warzone is the main aspect that I have added this to my list. Now, obviously, Warzone has bugs, right? Jesus, a lot of bugs, but at its core, it just makes you want to keep playing. Especially when you're playing with like a group of friends and a lot of people it makes the experience so much more better.
Proximity chat makes it funny.
And proximity chat,
when it worked.
I know it's a feature that previous games have had before, so it's not like something new that's been introduced, and like Call of Duty themselves have done it. But it makes for so many funny interactions, and it makes the experience a lot better as well if you're playing with teammates, and then you get that random proximity chat of like strangers.
Deathcoms are funny in multiplayer. I played a lot of multiplayer in that game. I actually played a lot more multiplayer than I did Warzone, just because Warzone it just had so many bugs and problems with partying up. It annoyed me, so I haven't been back to it in a while. But I preferred the movement in a lot, and I know streamers don't like it because they can't cheat as well.
That's why I like it more, because
I don't trust streamers. I think a lot of them are cheating assholes, to be honest. Yeah. We all know they have their little mods so they can make their fucking aiming and aim assist better. I can't remember what it's called.
VPNs.
Crohn's or something it's called. Like a little device. You ever heard of it?
Sounds like Crohn's disease.
It does sound like that, but I'm definitely pronouncing it wrong. But it's spelt like Crohn's, Cronus or Crohn's.
Like
it's like this little thing that you connect like a controller into, for example, or a mouse, and you can mod it on a PC to make your aim assist stronger.
Nice.
And it's like undetectable by anti-cheat.
Nice.
Cannot be. It's not wall hacking, but you can take away recoil on weapons.
It gives you
very common amongst. I'm pretty sure amongst every like sort of PvP game in the high ranks, a lot of them use it.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. But the reason they're there is because they're fucking cheating. And I think a lot of streamers, especially like maybe not the big ones like the like X Pros and all that. No. But like I do think some of them do.
Of course they do. Like a ton of them do. And their VPNs for all their like
that's the most common
terrible lobbies and stuff like that.
Like technically it's not cheating, but you're kind of going against the skill-based matchmaking, which I don't like in Call of Duty, by the way.
No.
I'm tired of having 2 good games, and then it puts me in with Navy SEAL Team 6 or something like that the next game, and I just get my cheeks spread and rawed hard.
Yeah, it's like the cast of Saving Private Ryan has come for you themselves,
Fucking right it is. It's like 4 of them, and I'm getting absolutely destroyed.
Oh, I know. But to add to it, I know season 2 got delayed, but I feel like season 2, I could almost see you come back because it's Japan themed.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know. And there will be
anime,
lot of, like, Japan.
Oh, I've already got the anime ones for like calling cards and all that. It's not even hacking, by the way. It's just going into the custom games. It's probably the same method. Still works.
They got rid of that because all my ones got.
Mine are still there.
Your ones are still there, but I think it's because you've not been on recently.
No, I went on a few days ago to see if
Did
the
you
game
know?
was. No, I think on Warzone. I went
right,
on
okay.
multiplayer. And I got absolutely destroyed. And I was like, my KD's really good in this game, so I don't really want to play anymore.
But yeah, it's Call of Duty. Call of Duty is Call of Duty. You know, I mean, it's a guilty pleasure.
I was going to slag you more off for having a buggy game, but my number 4 was a buggy game at launch as well. So
Interesting.
my number 4 is Total War Warhammer 3, which
Right,
released.
okay.
I actually thought it released last year, but it says I'm pretty sure it was February, January this year. I'm pretty sure it is. I think it is. But yeah, so that's a PC only game developed by Creative Assembly, and this was like all. If you're a Warhammer fan or a Total War fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you will have a Scooby what I'm talking about. Essentially, this game had its own campaign at launch, and it launched in PC Game Pass, I'm pretty sure, and it was fucking awful. Like it was so buggy. Things didn't work. The campaign was crap. The mechanics they had in the campaign, the big world map against the chaos.
Really? Was it that bad?
Oh, it was shocking. I fucking knew why they put it on Game Pass. I was wondering why. How did Microsoft get this a big game like this? It's because they knew the game wasn't ready to be released, but they were like, "Oh, Microsoft are throwing money at everyone for Game Pass. We may also take some." That's my theory behind it. But I knew the game went once Mortal Empires was a separate mode, which adds both maps from the first game and the second game, and the new map from the third game. So it's all in one. And it's the biggest world map in Total War history, and it's freaking huge. And there's like 200 races in it. It's got all the races: elves, orcs, dwarves, all the different chaos men, wood elves, dark elves, trolls, ogres, the Egyptian people. I can't remember the names on the top of my head. Vampire pirates, vampire counts, lizard men. Everything. If you're a fantasy nerd, you should love this game because it's so fucking good now. Like right now, I'm playing it right now. Like during the week and stuff like that, because it's just so easy just to pick up and play, and it's so addicting. Right now, I'm playing Vampire Counts as Van Carstein, like the old one. I can't remember. Probably just Vladimir, the classic.
So right now, would you
name.
say is it pretty much the game it should have been at launch?
Yes. They
Like
said
it's,
more.
like it's fully finished and like
I
in a
think
sense.
Mortal Empires came out in August, and when that released, it felt like this is the game.
Yeah.
And this is why it's on my list. It's maybe not fair because the game was shit at launch. But
That's
it's
pretty common these
amazing
days.
now. I bet the shit. Okay, that's a good point. That's
I
for
know.
another
That
video.
doesn't mean it's good or that.
Yeah, that's for another video for
Alright.
that whole.
That's a rant there.
Release it broken, just fix it later. People will come back, like little people like me, because they're idiots, because they know how much I love Warhammer. But this was the last one in that trilogy, and I think Total War, like Creative Assembly, are the main one, are going to move on to something else.
Also, well, like this is them done with.
I
Total
think
Warhammer.
so. I think it'd be cool if they went to the Space Marine. I mean, a game like that. But
Right.
who knows? Or like a Lord of the Rings Total War. Or like a Game of Thrones. Like, I just thought that's such a gold mine. But they do, obviously, because it's licensed, they will have to share it.
Yeah, no.
I don't think you have to share as much with Games Workshop, who own Warhammer license. But if you like Lord of the Rings or Tolkien are quite,
like a big
they're
IP.
quite, yeah, they're quite anal. They'll be quite hands on. Yeah, that was my number 4. Fucking great game. I'm already on like, I think I've played about 70 odd hours. Last Warhammer 2, I was on like 300 plus hours, and Warhammer 1, I was on around about the same. When I get addicted to that game, I'm like 2 weeks, I'll be hooked on it non-stop. I'll go off it for like a month or two. I'll go back onto it.
Yeah.
I go off and go back onto it. It's so fucking
And
good.
it just consumes you.
Oh, it's so good. If you're just a fantasy nerd and love armies and building cities and doing seating and you go into battle with all your units, and it just looks like a crazy fucking Lord of the Rings, against Sauron sort of war going on.
Yeah.
Dragons and ogres and trolls and fucking griffins and griffin horses and dragon horses and lizard horses. It's just so good. I highly recommend it.
It sounds like so much to take in. Like,
Yeah.
it's
You need a
almost
good
like
PC for
intimidating
it.
in a way.
But it's also very stable now, I think.
Aye.
For PC. It wasn't at launch again. The old bug's still in it, but overall, bang.
Pretty solid, yeah.
If it launched like that, the game it is now, at launch, close to Game of the Year.
Yeah, but that's like the story of games these days.
to
be honest.
It's apart from my Game of the Year, but we'll get there.
Yes, right. So at number 3,
3.
for me, I have Dying Light 2.
I was close to being that. That was close to being my number 5, but now I was like, no, Forbidden West.
Yeah. So Dying Light 2 came out at the pretty much start of the year. Came out February 4th, and obviously it is the sequel to Dying Light, which is one of the best zombie games
Ever made.
ever made. To be honest,
If you don't include Last of Us.
yeah, it's. I feel like this game had a lot to live up to compared to what Dying Light did when Techland first released that and sort of It was almost like out of the blue a little bit. They were like unheard of. They had previously worked on the likes of was it Dead Island that they had done some work on, or Dead
Yeah,
Island
they
2.
did something like that. And
Yeah,
they,
and
I
then
think
obviously
didn't some of the studio break off and to tech. They
to
made
form
the studio they
Techland,
formed,
which
yeah.
obviously where now Dying Light's come from. So yeah, Dying Light, absolutely sensational game. You would think, how can they live up to that? Did they top it? Did they just sort of like, what did they try to do?
I don't know if they topped it.
I feel like, no, as much as I enjoyed Dying Light 2, and like I still feel like it is a really good, fun game at its core, it falls flat compared to Dying Light.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't know, there's a few decisions which I just feel I don't really understand why they done it. It definitely feels like they've taken out a lot of stuff from what they originally showed off in, like, press conferences and, like, game awards and stuff like that, whatnot. But yeah, at its core, it's still a fun game. Like, it's still enjoyable. There's a lot to it. The map is a lot bigger.
I did play a lot of co-op in it as well in this one. I need to go back and play it.
Yeah, I can't remember if co-op even worked at
It
the
did
time.
work.
To
It
be
didn't
honest,
work great at the time,
which was the
and
problem.
I think Dying Light, when we done it one so good, was the co-op.
Yes,
Going
because
for the
when we played
story.
that co-op,
We played like the whole story mode.
it was honestly
Amazing.
it was such a
So
good
fun.
experience.
So fun. Everyone's screaming for help because you're getting chased by the
The
nightmare.
the first game feels definitely like more tense and scary and like a horror game. This one, it doesn't feel as much of that.
It's quite similar to the first one where you play as a character who's gotten into a new city and
yeah, no,
he's
definitely.
he's infected. at the
Yeah,
start?
he's infected. Yeah, but yeah, it just even like little things like
They made it like an RPG almost
Yeah, they did kind of.
with the
What
writing.
are the zombies called? The ones that can only come out at night? Are they the volatiles?
Volatiles, yeah.
Yes,
The scary ones.
they're scary in the first one. In this one, the second one, I just don't know. I don't feel like they are. When it comes to nighttime in Dying Light 2, it's nowhere near what Dying Light
Oh, Dying Light 1 was
One
straight
does.
up like, I can't go outside.
like that. Yeah, like you
At
did not
night.
actually want to go outside.
I don't think I have a lot of hours unless it had to at story mode. But like optional, I never went out at dark at Dying Light 1.
Yeah, that's because it was absolutely terrifying.
It's actually pitch black. It
Yeah.
is pitch black, as it probably should be, because there's no lights on. In this one, have they made it darker? They've added updates. I'm pretty sure
They have. I
they've
don't know.
added more volatiles.
I haven't
and stuff like that.
I haven't gone on to it since. It's been a
It's
few
been a
months
lot,
since I've gone on to it.
It's been months. I was thinking about actually downloading it not too long ago.
Yeah, but to be fair with Techland, they supported Dying Light for a long
long
time and
time.
like constant updates and adding content to it. So I feel like this might go down a similar route, but obviously I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That actually might be a good shout. I might re-download it and see how it is.
See, now I might re-download it.
I know.
After this video,
Because then you can actually do it in co-op, because co-op will work.
hopefully.
Well,
I
hopefully,
don't know.
Yeah.
Well, surely it does, but yeah. I never finished it either.
Yeah, but I did. It doesn't. I don't know. The story isn't. I feel
Meh.
like the first. Yeah, it's pretty meh.
I think
The first Dying Light story it's a lot more like concise, and I prefer the character of Kyle Crane, and I just prefer like the way that the stories are like played out in the original compared to this one. Like there were some elements I liked about this one.
it's
I
number
feel like
3 in your list.
yeah, no, I know. This, honestly, like, but you can't deny that there is a lot of criticisms to these games. I know we're talking about our games of the year, but like nothing's perfect. But yeah, see, I kind of want to play it now again.
So do
Just
I.
see
I've
how
got
it
the
is.
itch. I'm across the Last of Us TV show. I've got that zombie itch big time right now.
Oh no, yeah, big time out. So yeah, that's my number 3. What about you?
My number 3 is Stray,
Ooh, okay.
an indie game where you play as a cat. It was
Yes.
developed by Blue 12 Studio. It released on PC and PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Yeah, so I bought this game for about. It only cost like £15 or something. I can't remember exactly when it released. Sometime was it?
I feel like it was pretty in the first quarter
was
of
it?
the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you basically just play as a cat in this, like, you fall down, you lose your sort of like group of cats. You fall down, and basically the story is about, and you fall down into a city that's closed off. It's like walled off essentially.
yeah, like a dystopian.
And the whole point of the
city.
game is basically trying to escape.
Yeah.
Get back out into the real world. This is based way in the future, where humanity is just, we don't know what's happened to them. And there's all these robots that imitate humanity, and then you got to speak to the robots in this like cyberpunk sort of like city.
Yeah.
And then it's like a kind of like an obstacle game where you jump between different obstacles and really easy puzzles. And you got this little droid that helps you. I can't remember the name now. Is it BB-12?
I think of Star Wars, Jedi Survivor.
Maybe I am.
Yeah, no, I know what you're on about. I
Can't remember
played
though.
it for a few hours.
But I absolutely adored this game. I love cats as well. Well, it does help.
Yeah.
But like, it just plays so well, and it's actually got a really good story. You read all these little messages in the game as well, and little puzzles, and you find out a bit more what's happened to the world and why, you know, where are the humans? You know, all the robots in the city, they think, you know, you're not allowed to go outside the city just because they think the world's like at an end. So obviously there was an apocalypse in this game at one point where humans built these walls for people to go in. And it's got like a class system. You find out basically everything that's happened and all that, and it's such a good game. And I actually got really emotional playing this game. It was actually quite sad some bits in it, because there is like these little creatures that do try and, you know, attack you and eat you.
Yeah, like
they're like little big, they're like bacteria things that have just grown or something.
Yeah,
essentially they eat anything. But yeah, that was my number 3. It's such a good game. I highly recommend it to people.
Did you finish it? Yeah.
Yeah, I finished it. Yeah.
How long would it take you roughly?
Not long, but 6-7 hours.
It's not too bad.
It's not a long game.
Yeah, no.
I think I did like half the puzzles. I was just kind of just like, if I saw a puzzle or a thing to collect, I collected it. But
but you wouldn't go out your way to sort of like.
The only game I've ever done
them.
that for is Last of Us Part 2. I'm so close to platining it. It's taste it. Just because it's like I'm so close. I'm just like, fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna get my first platinum ever.
Yeah.
I'm not really
correct.
I'm not a hunter for trophies and collectibles usually ever. I've never have been. But yes, number 3, that is Stray. It's highly recommend it to anyone. I think it's on PlayStation. What's the Game Pass version of PlayStation?
Yeah, because that's what I played it. It's the PlayStation subscription. I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember either.
PlayStation Now, is it?
PlayStation
Now
Go
or Go or something.
It's definitely not Go. I just made that up.
But yeah, I think it's PlayStation Now. Possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's what I played. I only played a few hours of it. I only played like maybe 2 max just to begin with, and I got moved on to something else. Not because I didn't like it. I did. I thought it was very almost therapeutic in a way. Like it's very relaxing.
Oh, very relaxing game. It's
like you don't
really
have to
relaxing.
like you're not getting stressed out with combat or anything because there is no combat really. It's just a nice relaxing kind of game.
I think it's just a great video game, and made by a very small studio. You know,
it's actually won a lot of awards.
I'm pretty sure it won Indie Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
Yeah,
and deservedly. I say deservedly, so I haven't played any other indie games apart from Sifu maybe. I did have an honorable mention for.
Yeah,
but I never finished that game. But yeah, Stray, number 3.
Very nice. Right, the top 2. I feel like our top 2 are going to be the same games, possibly in a different order or the same order. So for number 2 for me.
Number 2.
So yeah, number 2 for me is Elden Ring. Now, Elden Ring is an amazing game, without a doubt. It's gotten so much praise, so many awards. It's like held in high regard by so many people, and quite right, to be honest. It's the furthest I've ever gotten in a Souls-esque game. Mainly because I more like the aspect of the open world in this one. I feel like it gave you more options instead of in sort of like Dark Souls games where there were certain areas where you'd get to and you couldn't progress unless you defeated a boss.
Mm-hmm.
And because I wasn't very good, I couldn't do it, so it kind of put me off a little bit.
Get good.
Well, in a sense, yeah. But with this one, it gives you the more freedom and the choice to sort of like explore the world at like your own pace and like wherever you want to go first. Like you don't necessarily have to follow one specific direction. Although there is one part I think where you have to defeat, is it Goldfric at least to get through the castle. Like he's the first. Yeah, he's technically supposed to be the first boss
some bits
you fight. Yeah,
it's still the same thing. Where some bosses to get to the next area, you need to beat the boss, but each area is just massive.
Yeah, and in terms of that as well, the areas they're all so, for one,
different,
unique
and different.
Different enemies, variations, and
so many enemy variations. I don't think the team is credit enough for that. By the way,
and considering how all unique designed they are, and it's such a credit to like the entire studio and like especially like the game developers, the designers, all of them. It's such a good game, and I kind of am. Yes, I'm also kind of like disappointed that I haven't finished it. Yes.
Oh, shame.
You only finished it recently with the help of someone.
I didn't.
I thought you did.
No, me and Jake were trying to do it, but then like we just kept failing.
I thought you didn't finish it before that, and then you got Jake to help you.
Yeah, and we didn't do it.
You didn't do it?
No, I stuck to it for an extra few hours and eventually beat Elden Beast.
Oh right, okay. I see.
I basically memorized every single move he had.
After like 6 hours of fighting him.
Literally, it was like 4-5 straight hours. And for some reason, I just could not beat him. Yeah. Because as well as this, with Elden Ring, you can have so many different builds in this game.
Oh, that's another thing
crazy.
as well.
It's such a variety of different like attacks you can do. The magic in this game is incredible. It looks so anime. I fucking love it. But yeah, I was a melee based. I was basically a samurai essentially, and 2 samurai swords. And just with Elden Beast, he's the last boss in the game, and he just has this move where he like teleports. You hit him a few times, he'll teleport to the other side of the like sort of like area where you fight him.
Yeah.
And the area is just so fucking big. And when you and anytime you did it, you had to run at him. By the time I ran at him, I was like dead. And when you're running at him, you got to dodge like 100 attacks.
Aye.
Trust me, I try to get people to help me. And FYI, in co-op in these games, it is harder. You do it on purpose. Like the boss has, it's like less damage, or they do more damage. That sort of thing.
They give you the illusion of like it's actually like better, but really it's not.
And I defeated Melania in this game. Now that
is an achievement, to be fair, right? Because I
hard.
remember you being absolutely broken at that, and you were telling me.
She broke me.
And then eventually, when you done it, it was just like, I can imagine it would just be like.
I felt like Thanos.
Oh,
when
weight
he
on your
looks into the sun. He's just beaten. He's like, it's done. He's just like looking at the sunset. That's what I felt like. I beat Melania, and I wasn't like screaming. I was like, the controller down and just had a little like talk to myself.
Just breathed.
Yeah, and then I went against Elden Beast, and she beat Melania, like destroyed me. That I had to take a break from the game for a few months. I went back to it, and I finished it, and then I'm currently replaying it again as a magic build, which I'm really enjoying. I forgot it's actually quite easy. The first like first half.
Well, like it's a lot easier with magic for the first half.
Yeah, but I also think it's because I know I like some of the bosses. I remember like how to dodge them.
There will be an aspect of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the game is just fucking incredible. The map is just so big, and there's like, and then when you think there's the main map, there's like an underground city essentially. There's another map on top of the main map.
Yeah.
And then there's another area like that where it's like just like blood filled like rivers and like giant crow monster things are the hardest in the game. They're harder than bosses.
It's like when you think you've explored almost every aspect of the map, it just like keeps throwing new areas at you and like keeping everything fresh.
And I feel like with this game as well, launched with no bugs or microtransactions.
Which sounds...
It was like, here's the game we made. Enjoy. And it is a fucking masterpiece at that. And it should be Game of the Year just because of that.
It sounds so sad to say that these days, isn't it?
It is really sad.
Like a game is launching with no bugs and no microtransactions.
Just ready to go. That's what this game was. Yeah. Ready to go.
It was. They took their time with it and they released
an absolute masterpiece.
An absolute gem of a game.
And I'm pretty sure it's now the most awarded game of all time. It beat out Last of Us Part 2.
That doesn't really surprise me in a way.
Such an incredible game.
Yeah.
Well, so my number 2 is God of War Ragnarok.
Right, okay. So basically,
where to begin this game?
Yeah. Where to begin?
I was quite late with this game just because I was busy the weekend with a girl. And then everyone else was playing it and I was so jealous. But then so you beat it like a week and a half or something before me. Before I beat the game. Yeah. I finished the game around about 40 hours. 34 hours, I think it was for me.
Yeah, I'd say I was roughly the same, I think.
Yeah, but the game obviously kicks off a few years after the end of the first God of War game. And I just want to give a shout out to Santa Monica Studio, who made this game. Because God of War Ragnarok is an actual incredible game. And if it wasn't for Elden Ring, it obviously would be my game of the year. But Elden Ring just edged it for me, which we'll kind of spoke about already. But in God of War Ragnarok, oh my god, this game is so fucking good. It feels like a proper sequel. Like
it does.
You look at it sometimes and be like, oh, some of the moves do not look the same, but no. Like the different realms in this game, it's got a different variety of enemies in this game, which was my critique of the first game. I felt like there was too many of the samey enemies.
Are you especially talking about like the troll,
the Draugrs and Draugrs?
The troll bosses pretty much.
Yeah, and the
like
Draugrs.
And stuff like that. No.
The first game was just way too loud with them. They're in this one, but they're nowhere near as many. And there's huge different varieties now. I know the first game also had the elves and all that as well, but this game just felt so much, and the boss fights in this game are so cinematic, and the story and writing are just so incredible. And I just love it the way it transitions into the cutscenes. I know that was from the first game as well. You know the way you just like
it's like one flawless.
It's like so flawless
scene almost.
Yeah,
it's like you don't notice any of it.
I remember them talking about that, how difficult that is to do
in
a game, and you're starting to see other. Last of Us Part 1 did that. You know, in the first Last of Us Remastered, it was just straight up like the game would block for like a second and it'd be a cutscene.
Yeah.
If you don't listen to Last of Us Part 1,
but
it does the transition thing as well.
Yeah, because I've been replaying that just now. Yeah. It's almost like instantaneous.
Yeah, it must be like a thing that Sony are doing. I'm just fucking. think Halo kind of did it as well, actually. Infinite. Anyway, but yes, this game, like the writing, and oh my god, this is the best Thor I have seen anywhere. And the Marvel fans, but Chris Hemsworth. No, it's
I feel
straight
like
up.
this is like
This
almost,
Thor is like peak man.
This is
physique.
like this is like sort of like a truer adaptation as to like
Oh,
what
he's
Norse
so-
mythology
yeah, he's
Thor almost
so
is.
fucking cool in this game, man.
Yeah, he's voiced and played by is it Ryan Hurst.
Yeah, he was
He
in
was
Sons
OP
of Anarchy
in Sons of Anarchy.
and
Yeah,
Walking Dead. He played Beta.
he was in the later seasons. I haven't
Yeah.
seen them yet. But yeah, no, he's like that's just like he's great in an already like stellar
Mhm.
cast. Obviously, Christopher Judge and
Oh, he's great. This is
I
his
can't
best
forget
performance.
who plays Loki. Oh my god, what's his name?
Atreus.
Atreus. I forget
Don't
the guy.
call him Loki.
I know, sorry.
He's not Loki.
But yeah, no, they put in like another stellar performance, especially Christopher Judge as Kratos, the god of war himself, is just
Oh, as I've seen at the end of this game,
Absolutely
near the end, that was just that
stellar.
made me like tear up almost. I
Yeah.
don't want to say what it is, but I know we spoiled some other games in this list, but
I know, but I feel
don't
this is
I'm
why
not
you
gonna spoil-
can't-
I'm not going to spoil it all. This
If
game.
you haven't played God of
But
War
Thor,
Ragnarok,
yeah, and
please.
just the different like Norse gods in this game, they're just so fucking well done. Like Heimdall. That's kind of a spoiler, but we all know he was going to be in it. He's a fucking prick, by the way. Great performance.
he is, yeah.
Odin he's not what you think he'd be. He's not this big brawn like Thor looking bearded man as well.
No, he's
more
no.
like what kind of Odin is, a very clever man. Very,
definitely more brains
very,
over brawn.
very brain,
sort of
very
thing.
brainy, yeah, very manipulative. And he's played by the guy from Jurassic Park Lost World, and I can't remember his name.
I know who you know about it. I can see his face right now, but I cannot remember
I
his name.
can't
for
remember
the
his name
life
at
of me.
all, but it's him, and he does such a good job. I'm like, it's him, and he plays a good job. I don't even know his fucking name. But yes, everyone knows. Everyone that's into like video games or has a PlayStation probably has played God of War now. And
Yeah.
probably loved it.
If you haven't, then
I think for a lot of people, it's probably
have
Game of the
to.
Year over Elden Ring. Depends what your taste was, but yes, excellent. You want to say any more for it?
yeah, I feel like it just adds so much, like on top of what 2018's God of War already did. It adds like just like you said, yeah, the different realms. You actually get to experience more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the design of them, like how different they are from each other, and just it's so it's just so good. Like it's so good. I think I would roughly
The gameplay is incredible.
gameplay is incredible. The adds
Combat is just so
combat
addicting.
is the same as God of War, but they add a few different tweaks here and that and there.
They've improved on it.
Yeah,
They haven't changed it.
like you improved on something that's already
Aye.
amazing and works really well and is so satisfying. And they add, obviously there's a new edition. You get the
Yeah,
Dropnir
yeah,
spear.
Yeah, you get. Is that a spoiler?
It's a minor spoiler.
Okay,
We'll-
that's a
we'll
minor
go with
spoiler.
that,
We won't
yeah.
say any more, but yes, you get new weapons. That's what we just said, but
Yeah, no,
yeah. Oh, fucking
just-
the writing is just so. It's like next level. It's like Naughty Dog to me, like when it comes to writing. Sony are just so fucking good at that. I have 2 Sony games. I mean, include Stray, but that came out on PC.
yeah, no. I
But,
get what
like,
you mean.
I
Yeah,
have 2 Sony exclusives on my list of for top 5.
I bet they
games.
deserve it because they're both absolutely stellar games.
Phil
And, like,
Spencer still sitting there, be like, "We have an exciting year ahead." Forza.
Oh, Jesus.
Stop! No more Forza. Give me games like this. Give me these cinematic
Masterpieces. pretty much.
masterpieces.
Yeah.
Like this game's a 10. This game's a 10 out of 10.
Oh, this game is it's up there with like arguably the best games of all time, and,
Yeah.
and will forever be held in such high regard.
And there's no bugs. Again, no bugs in this game. No like in-game store. No battle pass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But, yeah. Perfect. And
it's amazing.
one now you know the game of the years. Mine's Elden Ring.
Mine
Yours is God of War.
Yeah,
Did you platinum God of War?
I did. Yeah, because I think roughly after I'd done the main
What's
story.
your hours in that? Because there's quite a lot of collectibles.
Yeah, no. I think for the main story in that I was possibly 37 to 40 hours, and then after doing all the side stuff and platinum it, I was roughly at 57 or 60.
Probably more than that, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, no. But worth it. I done it with the first one, so I thought, fuck it,
Mm.
I'll do it with this one, and yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah, for me, it's Elden Ring. Just kind of for what I said earlier. I think it's the freedom of choice in that game. Like obviously, in a story sense,
No, yeah, all right,
God
yeah,
of
I
War
understand. Yeah,
God of War is like superior. I prefer that sort of writing and storytelling in God
Yeah.
of War. The storytelling in From Software games just not for me. That's probably like my only critique of it. Really, I don't like. I know some people don't like it, but I don't like how there's no like. I know it sounds silly, like a quest log or something. I kind of forget.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying,
and it's
because
kinda
that
like-
is like the one
If you speak to
little
someone
con.
like a quest person, for example, in Elden Ring, it's like you'll be done speaking and that's it, and I'd be like, oh, okay, that's not the end. That must be the end of the conversation.
It's
But you
so
have to,
vague.
You have to go. You have to press the A button or X or A, whatever, again, or wherever in PC.
Yeah.
Like you have to press it again, and he goes and he continues the conversation, but then it stops, and you have to press, and yet you can easily walk away, or you press it again. It does. It's kind of old school. And I personally don't like that. That's just my point of view. I know some people just like that, but From Software fans are quite a very
Quite
mean,
intense
intense,
bunch, yes.
nasty bunch sometimes. If you
Yeah.
even said one slight, I'm giving it a critique, and it's my game of the year, and it's one of the best games I've ever played. Like that's what Elden Ring is to me.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a
like
fair.
that is one of the best games I've ever played.
That's a fair critique, though.
Like it took over my life last year.
It took over like everyone's life. I
But
feel,
like
when it
I was
released.
just so hooked in it, and then when you play it again, you just get hooked in it easily again. And there's like you'll find new things, new dungeons. There's so many dungeons in this game, and the dungeons are quite samey, some of them. But it's like per area, so if you go to a new area, the dungeon will kind of like it'll alter and change.
Yeah.
And it's just all the different. It's just the different areas, the enemy, different enemy types. Obviously, the game is fucking hard. You will die a lot in this game.
Oh yeah.
Bosses are just so well thought out. Like some of the boss designs are absolutely so cool, and you look behind the lore in them. If you watch other YouTube channels who go into the lore of Elden Ring, it is so fucking interesting. But you have to not for me to go look for that. But when you learn about it, it's so fucking cool because George R. R. Martin sort of wrote the story in this game.
Yeah.
Like General Rodan is like the coolest character for me in this game.
Right, when you actually learn about his
Him and-
backstory. and
Yeah,
stuff
his
like that.
backstory and like how he loves his horse and all that. It fucking makes me want to cry. He's kind of like a good guy in this game. He's stopping like the Star Surge stuff from like
From actually happening, yeah.
shit up in that world. But such a good game. And the way the game starts and the map's like quite small. You're like, oh, this map's not that big.
And
the
then just
more-
boom.
The more you like wander about, the bigger the map will look.
Yeah.
And then like you keep thinking, right, this must be it. Like I must be at the edge now.
Like there couldn't be more.
No, it can't be
And then
more.
boom.
And then you just see this massive like fortress or city, and you're like, damn, fuck me, this game is good. Oh, it's so fucking good. Like that's why it's my game of the year. It's just
that's a big aspect of why I
to
love
me, it
that
just
game
felt
so
like
much.
an actual like old school video game where it's so fucking just well thought out and well done. And,
Yeah.
Works. It works.
I absolutely loved exploring in that game and finding new locations.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exploring.
So
It's one of the best
good.
open world maps ever created.
I find it very rewarding as well. When you go to these locations and you find
Yep.
specific loot items and like stuff like that.
Soulsborne games have always been good at that. They're
Yeah,
very
no.
rewarding. That's what makes them. When you die, it gets get hooked. There's
Yeah.
nothing worse in a game that's just hard, just for the sake of being hard, and there's no reason to continue.
There's no reward for
there's no
any
like,
of that.
oh, I kill the boss, I get his armor, like in this game, like General Rodan's helmet, a big massive red fur helmet. Oh, it's so fucking cool, man. But yep, Elden Ring, my game of the year.
God of War, Ragnarok for me, both absolutely stellar games and obviously worth playing if you have not.
And 2022 was a great year for video games, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best years we've had in a long time, because we've had a lot of stinkers with AAA games a lot recently in recent years. But this game, Sony pulling through yet again. Xbox, fucking nowhere to be seen. What the fuck? Did they have a game out last year? That wasn't like, I don't know, Forza or something. I don't think they did.
Nah, I honestly don't think they did either.
Yeah, Nintendo's got a big year ahead for 2023, which will be in our next video, which is the most anticipated list.
Yes.
But we'll talk about that when that comes. And yeah, thank you for watching our video. Remember to like and subscribe to us.
Yeah.
And we shall see you next time.
Yeah, and of course, let us know in the comments what your game of the year was.
Or agree with me, because we all know it's Elden Ring.
But yeah, thank you for watching.
Bye bye.